Hey, what's going on, everybody? BDO 44 coming at you with another video. All right, so talking about the Clippers, talking about the Lakers. Tonight, obviously, at Crypto.com Arena. And, the Clippers are a team that's coming off of two straight wins against two Texas teams. The last game that they played was a Dallas game where they had a nice, strong matchup with Luka Doncic, but were able to ultimately pick them apart with some fantastic stellar play by Norman Powell, Kawhi Leonard, of course, PG, Zubats all played very well in that game, and they were able to get a good victory there. The game before that, of course, I said against San Antonio, where both teams shot stellar. The Clippers shot 50 plus from behind the three, 64% from the field, and the Spurs also shot 50% from both the three and the field. So this was a game where neither team missed very much at all. It must have been very stellar to watch two teams be as hot as they were. The only person who shot below 500 was Doug McDermott. Everybody's talking about bringing in Doug McDermott in a game where nobody could miss. He was 1 for 5. So let that be understood. As you guys continue with the lobby to bring him in, I'm telling you. Anyway, so as we face these Clippers, man, we know this is a rivalry game for us. Obviously, we had no success against the Clippers as of late. They've beat us probably 9-10 times straight, and I'm not exaggerating. I didn't check, but I don't remember that. I don't think we beat the Clippers since the pandemic, honestly. I remember we got that one game against them back then. I know we've had very few victories since against that franchise, if any. Kawhi Leonard is healthy. Paul George will be playing tonight. Norman Powell is in a good rhythm. He's dribbling and not dropping people. And he dropped. Oh no, it was him that got dropped. I got that wrong in the last game. Yeah, he was the one, the defender on the wrong end of a green dribble type of situation where he pulled up and shot a jumper as Norman went to the ground. But don't let that fool you. Norman's been doing a lot of making people look silly as well. And I'm not really sure if he shouldn't have been drug tested on a dunk that I saw last week where he got off the ground so high. I thought he was somebody else. So Norman Powell is definitely somebody we need to take very seriously tonight. Another guy by the name of Terrence Mann is somebody who had a game where he went for 31 last week. Terrence Mann is one of those players I think it's kind of hard to gauge where he's at because he's had moments and pockets at a time where he's looked like a star, including playoff situations, and then you've had pockets at a time where he doesn't even get on the floor. He can't even play. They don't have him in rotation, so they have so many wings and stuff like that. And his development has kind of been inconsistent in regards to the minutes that they've given him and the role that they've had for him. So he's a better player than the role that he's in, and I would love to see him get out from under PG and Kawhi Leonard, honestly. I would love to see him get his own role. He's somebody that the Lakers could use right now as a wing that would just completely help us, and we give him a much more consistent role. But that's another story entirely. Tonight he's going to be somebody coming up against us to make a Clipper team very, very full. They're a good team. In fact, a close to great team, if you ask me, in comparison to the rest of the West. They're starting to be a team that I expect more from as the West continues to show me that it's weak. The Clippers are starting to look stronger to me. And you know that's not something I say too often, but right now, they look better than they did to start the season based on just other teams not looking as good to me. And they have the depth, man. The Clippers have the depth. And you look up and down that roster, it's one of the deepest teams in all of basketball. You look at a guy like Amir Coffey, who's like the 8th or 9th guy on the bench. He could light you up. They picked up Moses Brown, the guy I told everybody to pick up a year ago when he was waived by whoever it was, Cleveland or somebody, waived him. And I told everybody, hey, go pick him up because he's a guy who can rebound the ball at a really ridiculous clip. He's long arms. He doesn't shoot the ball or nothing like that. He's kind of a one-dimensional guy, but with the length that he provides, which is extraordinary, and his ability to rebound the ball, which is extraordinary, and his ability to block shots, which can be very a real strong suit for him. I just like him on the back of this Clipper bench to provide them some depth and some size behind Zubac, another center we know very well. Obviously, Zubac, one of the best free throw shooters out there at his position. Somebody who just continues to be a groundhog guy, somebody you can count on to stay healthy pretty much, a really durable center, somebody the Lakers obviously should have never traded, and certainly not for what we traded for, certainly not to where we traded him to. But nevertheless, he's still strong going for the Clippers as their starting center, and he's having a really, really good season. And it just keeps going. Guys like Covington, Batum, the Morris twin. They just got a bunch of guys that can stretch the floor for them, play defense, and give Kawhi and PG all of the help they would need on the wing. Reggie Jackson is somebody you need to be aware of. He's playing at a very high clip right now. He's in good rhythm, and he's been on this team for a couple years now, so there's nothing, any adjustment whatsoever. He's just very, very, very comfortable in his position as a Clipper, and he is somebody who can go crazy too. He can drop 30 on you easily. So this Clipper team should scare some people. You know, John Wall, I don't know what his health status is right now. I haven't checked. I didn't see him down there, to be honest with you. So I just don't know. The injury report was not available to me right now, so I'm winging it in that regard too. But I'll tell you this, we know if John Wall's on the floor, he's going to look to get a lot of assists, and he can make some things happen defensively. Now, where his conditioning is, how well he's looking, I haven't paid attention. So I'm clueless. But what I do know is if he's down there, you better be aware that he's going to look to facilitate, and he's going to look to defend. It's just what he does. So this is a Clipper team you need to obviously be aware of. You know, if you're talking about Kawhi Leonard, you know he's going to methodically pick you apart. He's going to look and pick his spots, hit his mid-range jumpers, and jog back down court ever so comfortably. And he's going to continue to do it over and over again. Spin moves, left hand, spin moves, right hand, dunk, hammer, dunk, everything. Anything you need from Kawhi Leonard, he's still very much capable of doing. He's healthy, and that means he's arguably the best player in the world. We ain't got to like it. In fact, I don't like it. But the fact of the matter is, I don't know that there are 6 people in this league actually more talented than him even right now. The problem with him, of course, is just staying healthy, and he's healthy. So you got to deal with him. Paul George, same thing. Copy and paste, same thing, really. He's healthy, he's playing well, and he's Paul George, so you got to deal with him. So this is one of those matchups where I just say, okay, the Lakers are coming off of a fantastic win against Portland, an impressive win against Memphis, a big trade yesterday where we brought in Rui Hachimura, got rid of 3 second-round picks, and Kendrick Nunn to Washington. But Rui is not expected to play tonight at all. He's out. He's 100% out. He hasn't passed his physical yet, and they're not going to throw him out there tonight. But they do expect that he will be ready tomorrow for the San Antonio game, which is, not getting ahead of ourselves. But we got a back-to-back we got to be aware of. LeBron James is listed as day-to-day with the ankle as always. I don't suspect he'll miss this game. I suspect he'll miss tomorrow's game. That's my guess. I don't know what their plan is, but that seems more logical to me. San Antonio, we don't suspect that San Antonio is going to want to win that game. You know, we've already played them 3 times this year. We won all 3 of those matchups. So if he's going to sit one out, it should definitely be that one and not the game where we got to deal with these Hall of Famers. So I'm not saying that this isn't necessarily a scheduled loss, because it may be based on just kind of how the matchups may be. But I don't think we're in a place where the Lakers should be taking on any scheduled losses. We got to go head up against some of these guys, especially some of these teams that we ain't seen since early in the season. Like, I don't think we've seen the Clippers since, game 2 or something like that? It might have been the second game of the season when we saw the Clippers, maybe the third game or something. So I don't believe that they have actually seen us. They don't know the Lakers. We didn't know ourselves when we last saw them. So this is pretty much our first real matchup. And I just don't want LeBron James to miss this particular game at all. I would prefer him just go ahead and sit the San Antonio game if he's going to choose one. So that's the thing. Obviously, you're going to be dealing with a lot of potent offensive talent. They have the ability to put 7 players in double figures. All of them can get 20-plus points at any given moment. So it's just going to be incumbent upon us to try to give ourselves a size advantage by forcing Zubac off the floor in foul trouble. That's a good way to go. Try to get them into a small ball type of situation. Maybe have them playing Moses Brown a little bit too much and then send him to the line to shoot free throws and exploit his free throw inefficiency issues just like we did Adams. But to be honest with you, they have so many elite players that will never probably be the case. They will never allow that to happen. So what's going to more than likely happen is you're going to get a full dose of PG, Kawhi Leonard, and Norman Powell coming at you full force, probably for 48 minutes. Build a wall around one of them. The 2 others are going to shoot you with open shots. So it's just going to be one of the situations where it's a tricky matchup for the Lakers. And we're going to need all hands on deck. We're going to need all hands on deck. Troy Brown is going to have to play well defensively. If we use Max Christie, he's going to be important tonight on the wing. I don't know if Austin and Lonnie are back. Like I said, the injury report has not been available to me as of yet for some reason. But last I checked, they should be close, man. I don't know how many more games them boys are going to miss. I'm at a point where I'm like, damn it, they ain't back yet? That's where I'm at with that. Lonnie and Austin are 2 very important pieces to what we're doing. Obviously, Lonnie's somebody that we're trying to shop right now. We're going to probably trade him because I don't think they have plans to re-sign him. So we need him back on the floor to pop off the screen if that's what's going to happen. We need to see him in his best, so that we can get the most for him. Me personally, I want the Lakers to re-sign Lonnie Walker. I do. You guys, if you follow me, you know I have no interest in letting Lonnie walk or trading him. I think he's a valuable piece for the Lakers that we can keep for the next 5-6 years. But if the Lakers don't have plans to re-sign him, which it sounds like they may not, letting him walk and get a bigger bag elsewhere, that's something we need to not let happen. So I want to see the Lakers try to get him back on the floor, and then by the trade deadline, if they're not re-signing him, get something for him. Something. Anything. I don't care what it is. Just get us back 2 picks, just like we gave away for Rui. Just get us back 3 picks. Obviously, Lonnie's worth more than Rui to me, so we should be able to get a better return. But that's what we need to do. We got to do something to assure that we don't allow assets to walk out the door anymore. So as far as the game's concerned, we just go out there and give it what we give it. We strategized very well in the last game, I think, making sure that we had a little more size on the floor, making sure that we just take care of the things that we could, getting Thomas Bryant the ball, allowing him to shine. Walked out of there with 31 points, 14 rebounds, having only missed like 4 shots in total, a bunch of 3-point shots made, free throws made, field goals made, mid-range made. Everything was on point for Thomas Bryant, and it was a heaven sent because he was coming off of a couple games where his confidence was low. He didn't play well. He got embarrassed by Emperor and Sengun and all kinds of other stuff. So for him to bounce back in the way that he did against Portland was massive. And we definitely could not have done it without every one of his points. LeBron James with 37 points as well. Very, very methodical, intentional, getting to the line. All necessary rebounding was available. He was just doing what he needed to do to be efficient for his basketball club. The 3-ball was falling early. He got off to an early start. And we said, it's all that really was is him building a cushion. It wasn't necessarily something that we could sustain because we knew that the other team was going to score a lot. Tonight is the same thing. If we get out to an early lead or something like that, we understand it's probably going to take over 130 points to win this basketball game. So whatever the score is, it don't matter. If you're not aiming to score that much, you're probably going to lose. And so I think that's how the Lakers approached these last couple games. They knew they had to score a lot, and they put themselves in a position to do so. And it's going to be required. We're going to need guys to continue to feel confident. Dennis Schroeder was a really good player for us in that last game as well. He was using his ability to create for others, and the Lakers were allowing him to run the offense a bit more, which is a good thing, man, because he can pass some. He can use his mid-range floater and stuff like that to kind of get us some really quality possessions when he's controlling things. And I really like what I've seen from him in these last couple games after having a stretch where he fell off a cliff for about 4 or 5 games too. Patrick Beverley was monstrous in this last game, shutting down Dame Lillard, as we will properly articulate this go-round. Dame Lillard had a tough game against Patrick Beverley, and Patrick shined in every way, shape, and form, and we want to acknowledge that. And we're going to need him to do that tonight against Norman Powell and whoever else he's lined up against, because best believe his old team, the Clippers, are going to be looking to take him down, and we're going to have to use his energy against them in his intent and the emotional nature of him going against them as a way to propel us toward a victory. And that's key. Patrick Beverley is Mr. Clipper. He's the heart and soul of the Clippers right now, if you ask me. He's still the heart and soul of the Clippers. And he's on our side. So we need to do him a favor by making sure that we make them pay for not keeping him on their roster. He should have retired the Clippers as far as I'm concerned. So let's make sure that they remember that they ain't nothing without Pat Beverley. Let's just tell them that. I'm going to say that. Clippers, you ain't nothing without Pat Beverley. You should have kept him. Should have never let him go to Minnesota. So that's what I got to say, man. I'm happy he's on our side. Hopefully we can use him in bigger lineups, obviously next to Troy Brown a little more. And Russell Westbrook needs to be spoken about because he didn't have a great game in this last one. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it, Russ. So one of the things that I've been saying about Russell Westbrook is I want to see him experience real winning. I want him to be able to have a great antithesis mentality to what it is that he's been engaging in, which is my stats are more important than winning. I think that comes from a place of having to accept losing for a long time and just finding other things from which to inspire yourself within what it is you're doing. I don't think that's a natural occurrence for a person to not care about winning. And I think he's in a space where he aims for different things. And I think he's learned to love those things more than winning. And I think we saw evidence of that in the last game. When he didn't play in the second half, we won the basketball game, but he did not want to talk to the media. Sometimes when we lose, he's smiling and he's happy. Now, I know that there's a lot to be said for how things have gone here in LA. He may perceive the fans as not supporting him. He may perceive the Lakers as a great ugly omen on his life as it pertains to all the fun that's been made fun of him and the way that he's looked in his uniform. For all I know, he finds a great deal of pleasure watching the Lakers lose from within our uniform. I'm serious as hell, too, when I say that. I think there's reason to believe that he might actually think that way based on some of the stuff that he's taken on in the last 2 years. He may actually like seeing the Lakers not win. And he may want off of this team so he can beat us. And I really think that part of him is in that space. I think he wants to win, too, because he's obviously on his own side. But I think he sees victories for him as him getting his statistics and keeping his career going. I really believe that, man. I believe that. There's no other explanation for it. As I said in a video a couple days ago, I'm always happy sitting. I'm never on the floor. I'm never going to play. And I don't think anybody of the players on that team love the Lakers more than me. I don't think any of them want to be a Laker more than me. But the reality is I can't play ball. So I would never check myself in. I suck. We're going to lose. And I don't want to lose. So how I feel is I would never check myself in. I would never want me on the payroll for the Lakers. And with that unselfishness should come a desire for all the professionals in the uniform to want to win too. If I can do this without getting a dime and don't get none of this stuff that y'all get, y'all should be at least be able to sit next to the coach in a game where he decides he don't want you to play and be happy seeing the team succeed. And if you can't do that, I think your whole perspective is whack. I truly believe that. I think you've been aiming for the wrong stuff for a long time if you think otherwise. It should be about winning. Not your stats, not the benchmarks that they give you so that, they can, justify paying you your full worth. You know what I mean? When you do certain things that are extraordinary, that's bullcrap. That's a scale system that was not set up for you to succeed, let alone for you to aim within it. Hell no. That was bullcrap. That wasn't set up for you to succeed at all, Russell. You should have been aiming to win. Ain't nothing going on in the spirit of competitive nature if you're conceding the victory for the sake of production within the game itself. It's stupid. It's nothing short of it. And he engages in that stupidity often. And it's one of the reasons why we don't necessarily appreciate all that he's brought to the table, because it's come with that. And we are about winning here, championships to be exact. The very, very opposite of what it is he's on. And I'm going to say that because I want him to change. I want him to see the understanding that there is a different happiness that he's never experienced, that because of the way he operates, he will never experience. And that's his fault. That's on him. It ain't on nobody else. If you're unhappy after a victory, that's because someone or something has coerced you into a space where you're aiming for the wrong stuff. And your example is going to coerce others into that same space, and that ain't acceptable. If you want to be cool with getting 15, 15, and 15 and having lost by 15, be that by yourself. That's my attitude. Don't put on purple and gold and then have that mentality. Don't do that. And then most importantly, it's on the Lakers to never ever bring us nobody like that again. That's exactly how I feel. So I just want to put that out there, man. I'm not gonna say I'm disappointed in Russell Westbrook. I'm open-minded. Maybe it's good enough for him. Maybe it's good enough for him to get all his stats. Maybe that's a real scale for him. Maybe he's like, I don't care winning these basketball games because the games is fixed. I just want to get the most production to show people that I can kill everything and I'm the best statistical player ever because that's what I want. Fine. But this is a team sport. We ain't with it. That's you. That ain't us. We want to win. So if you're unhappy watching us win because you didn't meet the scales that you had for your selfish self, then you need to not be a part of a team sport. And I don't give a damn if you get a 15 assists that get everybody their points. If it's just about you getting your stats and we still lose, and you're pleased because we lose, or we can't enjoy happiness in winning because you didn't get your minutes and your stats, you are a problem. You're a cancer. So that's what needs to be said, man. If he don't want that to be his reality, he needs to change his attitude. Don't have fans hearing about you not wanting to speak to the media after a freaking W. because you didn't play in the fourth quarter. It's absurd. You know, it's crazy because I'm sitting up here looking at people getting on Stephon Diggs of the Buffalo Bills for running out of the arena early because he was pissed off he lost. They saying, that's not how a captain's supposed to act. The captain, you got the C on your chest. You're supposed to lead by example. He is. He doesn't accept losing. That is by example. You know, go back in there and shake everybody's hand. See, we did it. No, we lost. We sucked. We didn't do enough. And I'm unhappy about it. That's what you should be following. Be unhappy all off season long. Do more in your off season to make sure that we're better next year so we don't have to feel this no more. Don't sit up here and say we all won. We did it together. Great season, guy. No, it wasn't a great season. We failed in our mission. We demanded excellence as we didn't deliver. Nobody should be happy about that. Anywhere where that is okay is not competitive. You're doing something else. Call it something else. You know what I'm saying? Don't say you're competing to win. Say you're competing for stats. Say you're competing to get money. Say you're competing to get, accolades. You want to get closer to the corporate side of things. You have a different scale. You want statistics. Okay, that's it. That's all you want. But don't go to a winning organization. Go to a losing one. Sign with the Magic. You feel me? If you don't care about winning, go to Washington. Go back to Washington. So that needed to be said, man. I know they ain't had nothing to do with this game today, but if I'm to lobby to keep a player and he's happy when we lose and unhappy when we win, how do I not dedicate 15 minutes to that? When the very thing I said before I found out he did that was, I want to see him win. I want to see him succeed because I know there's more fun than what he desires in this little scale that he's reaching for. There's more satisfaction to be obtained by actually getting championships that he knows nothing about, that if he were to get it, tears would roll down his face and he would never want to go back to the stat life. But he ain't going to never allow himself to see that because he's too busy chasing the stat life. And as somebody who's enjoyed watching teams win championships for years and years and years over and over again, I can tell you ain't nothing in them stats. They empty. Stats are empty, Russell. I don't care how many of them you get. You could be the triple-double leader forever. You never get a ring, you're going to be a guy, bro. A guy. Look at Allen Iverson. Nobody was more influential on the sport or the culture than Allen Iverson. People wore their hair a certain way because of Allen Iverson. And what is he? A great player that did not win. We assured that. Don't get it twisted. He don't have one because of us. That's why he doesn't have one, because the mentalities of the purple and gold. So all this talk about having fun, not wanting to necessarily be unhappy in losses, or in that case over there in football, getting on Stephon Diggs because he was livid about losing, as a fan, that's the only thing I want to see. I don't want to see guys, we're fine, let's do it next year. No, because I'm not thinking like that. Y'all failed. Let's normalize being unhappy with failure like that when it comes to competition. You know what I mean? And if not, then don't compete. Do something else. Play buddy ball. Go play golf. If you want to do something by yourself, do something by yourself, bro. Don't play a team sport. So that's what I'm going to say about that, man. That's enough of that, by the way. If he doesn't show up and play better, then it's going to be a repeat of the first half of the last game. We can't function if he's not going to give us his production. That's what needs to be said about Russell Westbrook. The Lakers do not function well if he's not doing all that he does off the bench every single night. But if he's not going to contribute to us, if he's not going to be pleased with us being successful, then what the hell is he really contributing at all? It's irritating, man. We're going up against one of our rivals tonight. A real rival, a team that we ain't beaten in a long time. A team that relishes in seeing us fail. A team that covered up our banners. Hired the coach that beat us in the finals, and he decided to cover up our banners. He ain't won nothing. They snaked our player away from us. That whole Kawhi situation, that was supposed to be a certain way. Kawhi snaked us. There's all kinds of bad energy in regards to these fan bases and all that. They would share a city with us, share a building with us. They never won in this city, but they want to throw rocks at the pinnacle of the league that just happens to share a city with them. They're trash in every way, shape, and form, and it's our right to beat them every time we see them. And the only thing that keeps us from doing that is not having the right team on the floor a lot of times. But I don't know that we don't have the right team tonight. after beating the Memphis Grizzlies, beating the Portland Trailblazers in the way that we did, the way that Thomas is playing right now, we have a chance to beat this team tonight. I'm not saying we're favored. I don't think we're better than them, especially without Anthony. But we have a chance to defeat them. And if we're only looking for stats, if we're only chasing Kareem, and we're willing to take long three-point shots that may not fall because we're trying to get quicker to that benchmark that ain't got nothing to do with winning or losing. Because I tell you, every one of Kareem's shots had to do with some winning or some losing. I tell you that. Every one of them Scotch hooks had to contribute to either an NBA Finals performance or a championship itself. Because we was getting there all the time when he was there. Championships was going on with these hook shots. So I don't know what people are doing. I don't know what they think they're going to find when they reach that pinnacle, that space, when they get all the stats that they're looking for. I don't know what you get with that. You get a gold star for that? You don't get a trophy for that. That's the thing. It's like, what do you get for getting that? Did they give you a jacket for that? No. What you get is a bunch of people like me saying we don't care nothing about that stat. What we care about is winning at the end of the game. No matter who scored 100 points or 50 points, 81. I don't care how many points you scored. If we lost, we lost. If I'm not mistaken, I think the score was 150 to 140 something. I saw 150 points scored in a basketball game. I think it was one of the games the Clippers played in. It might have been the Clippers-Spurs game. I don't remember. But what I'm telling you is if we don't come into this matchup looking to score more points than we have in the entire year, then we're probably not going to win it. This team can score endlessly, dude. There's no end to what it is they can do from a statistical standpoint as it pertains to scoring in basketball. Kawhi can go for 40, 50, 60. Forget it. Kawhi can get his career high tonight. PG can go for 50. Norman Powell can go for 40. Reggie Jackson can go for 40. I mean, these are on their best night. This is not what you expect them to do tonight. This is them flexing. It's possible. Terrence Mann, go for 31. Zubac can go for 31. Like, these are things that you know they can do all night long. So if we don't come with the intention of scoring the basketball and defending the basketball, defending the three, it's going to be a bad night for the Lakers. And we're going to lose yet another game to a team that we really, really need not lose ever to. So this is one of them situations we need to take back our city. Obviously, they've been screaming and hollering like this is their city. They are the better team in the city. I'm not going to argue with that. But at the end of the day, we have a good enough team to compete with them. And I think a good enough team to run them out of here tonight. I really believe that. If we continue to shoot the way we've been shooting, Braun and TB, defending the way that we want to defend with Troy Brown, use Max Christie, use Wenyen Gabriel. We can give ourselves an opportunity to match up with this Clipper team. They are not the best team we've seen over the last 3 games. That would be Memphis. So we've already beat a team better than this week. And we have an opportunity to really, really have bragging rights in this particular basketball game. And so I want us to get them, man. We got to deal with Ty Lue and all the different things that he provides. Like I said, Kawhi's just looking to be a surgeon. If you really pay attention to what Kawhi's doing, he's dribble at a certain pace, and he's coming down, he's hitting mid-range jumpers. A lot of the times, Kawhi does not get the defense he deserves. That's what I end up seeing. People watch him just waltz into his spots. They let him walk into his spots, just dribble, pull up, jumper, jog. I'm like, man, if you don't put 7 people, like not 7 people, but if you don't put 3 people on that man like he is who he is, that's what ends up happening. He don't get the type of defense he needs to be getting. People don't respect him like they respect Luka, like they respect Giannis. And he's one of those guys, of course. You got to build a wall around the man. You got to build a wall around your man. You got to make somebody else beat you. He cannot go for 10 for 13 tonight. You're going to lose. I'm going to tell you right now. Don't let him walk into his mid-range spots. He's a very strong individual. No, we have very strong individuals. Bump him. Bump him off those spots. That's what I want to see. That's something I'm going to be intentional with watching. How are we playing Kawhi Leonard? Are we letting him do what he wants to do? Because if that's the case, he's going to pick you apart. If you bring him some defense and you force him to be in a defender, get him in foul trouble, now you can start loosening up that roster a little bit. But as long as he's down there getting 30 minutes a game, getting to the line 10 out of 11 times, all that stuff, you ain't winning. You got to knock off his efficiency somehow. You have to make him work harder than most teams make him work. And remember, he's fragile. Homie's fragile. He don't want to do too much bumping. He don't want to do no knee bumping of any kind. So I'm putting bigger people on him, and I'm bumping him, and I'm making the referees call it. And he's going to have a long night. That's how I feel about Kawhi Leonard. You make him have a long night. You remember all that he did to us over the last 2 years. That snake nonsense that it affected how our roster was constructed the championship year. You think about that tonight when he goes up for a dunk, and you make sure he feels something. Because we ain't been giving Kawhi what he deserves at all. I'm going to tell you right now. He disrespected us more so than anybody else. And we just kind of sit there, oh, well, no, it ain't all well with me. Not at all. So, that's how I feel, man. I'm a prideful Laker fan. I'm intentional. If I had any game at all, I'd be out there scoring. Believe me. But at the end of the day, I can't play, so I can talk, man. That's what I do. I'm going to tell you guys what I feel. The Clippers are a team that is very, very good, man. They're very good. Just because I don't like them doesn't take away from the fact that they could very well be the team come out of West this season. They definitely can. Especially the way the West is set up right now. It's weak. Kawhi's healthy. He could tear them all up. I promise you he can. So what we need to do is stand in front of him and make sure he doesn't. We need to be the team that make sure he doesn't. I don't trust Memphis to do it. I don't trust Denver to do it. I don't trust New Orleans to do it. But I trust us. I trust Bron and AD when they're healthy. They can beat Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. So hopefully AD will be back soon. Obviously we don't have him tonight. But he needs to get back here. He needs to stay back here. That's the thing. If he's going to come back, we just got to have some good luck with his health. And with that being possible, I think we can win anything. So long as our intention is to do so and not chase our own individual stuff. So we got a little taste of some real winning these last couple of days. We had a chance to win some close games and did, doing things better. Obviously, we've traded Kendrick Nunn, so that's going to affect the chemistry a little bit, the roster, bringing a new person. Who knows? But what I do believe is Kendrick Nunn didn't provide too much. So we're not going to miss him. I'm just going to say it like that. We're just not. We appreciate him, though. It ain't that's not to be mistaken for one or the other. But as far as on the court, we'd be cool without him. So this is one of them situations where it's like we get our roster into a space where our guards have a bit more wiggle room to stay on the floor a little more. Schroeder's going to have more room to stay on the floor a little more. Lonnie Walker's minutes are going to be ready for him when he gets back, hopefully tonight. Austin, same thing. So our guard situation looks a lot better. And, Rui's going to help us a lot tomorrow. Hopefully it would be nice if something changed and he does play tonight because we could certainly use his big body against these Clippers and these wings. This is kind of what the matchup is about. When you bring in a guy like him, you need him to take on these time of assignments. But, it is what it is, man. So that's what it is, man. I don't have a whole lot else to say about this. Obviously, the Clippers are a team you got to pay attention to. They can shoot the ball as well as anybody. They can defend very well. They control pace. They have infinite amount of depth. What they don't have is an infinite amount of talented size. After Zubats, they're soft in the middle. After Zubats, they're small ball team. After Zubats, you can rebound over them like freaking crazy if they don't put Moses Brown on the floor. As to which you foul him, send him to the line, you're going to brick him off. So this is what I think. You get Zubats in foul trouble. You get him out of there. Whatever way you can. You take Russell Westbrook, you take LeBron James, you drive straight at him repeatedly. Get him off the floor and then put your best rebounders on the floor and rebound over those small people that the Clippers are going to put on the floor. That's exactly what you do. So that's how I see it, man. Clippers are small. For all that they are a small team. And I've said it on record. Even though I like the Moses Brown piece, they're probably not going to use him as much as they should. And then they go with a bunch of forwards and they run forward ball all game long. That's when you put your Winions and your Thomases on the floor. That's when you do that. So that's what I hope the Lakers do, man. Do not play down to their size tonight. Give ourselves a size advantage because this is one of those rare occasions where I believe we may have one. Maybe not a foot speed advantage, but a size advantage. One that we could take care of repeatedly. We should beat this team on the boards. And Kawhi Leonard is going to have something to say about that. Paul George is an excellent rebounder. Paul George is an amazing rebounder. Always has been. So if we're not putting bodies on those people, they'll take care of the rebounding for their team. So that's my thought, man. I hate the Clippers. There's not too many teams other than the Celtics that I hate more than this one. So we have to beat them every time we see them, not just tonight. And rarely do we. So just like with Portland, just like with Memphis, hopefully we can do that. I'm not satisfied with the winning. I don't think anybody is except for Russell. So let's get out here and do what we need to do to continue to pile those winnings on. And I hope Russell is highly offended by what I'm saying. Because I was highly offended by him being upset every time we freaking win. Ain't the first time he's done that. And a lot of times he's very happy when we lose. Am I not supposed to be offended by that? Video 44. I thank you all for watching.